Open organ pipe. We are studying stationary waves, and for the production of stationary waves we have two options. It might be longitudinal or it might be transverse. When the whole thing is produced with the help of air column, as in the case of a flute, organ pipe, tabla, dholak, it is going to be longitudinal stationary wave. Here we are studying the simplest one, that is open organ pipe. When we say open organ pipe, you see one end is open here, the other end is also open. And when the end is open, obviously there is a freedom of vibration. That is why we will assume that antinodes are always formed at the ends. And two antinodes can never be together. That is why there must be one antinode in between. So, the minimum possibility, or you might say the simplest case that is possible, is antinode over here, node in between, and antinode at the corner. That way you could see here that it is going to be the minimum possibility, and the frequency that is going to be produced at the minimum level here is, in this case only, the distance between two antinodes is equal to lambda by 2, and the whole length, if we suppose equal to L, then in that case it is going to be lambda by 2. That way lambda becomes equal to 2L, and frequency is going to be V upon lambda, that is V upon 2L. Since I told you it is the minimum frequency, we would call it fundamental frequency. It is also termed as lowest frequency. But it is very interesting that all the frequencies that we will get, or we are going to get at higher level here, are going to be multiple of this very lowest frequency. That is why we use the term harmonic also. This is known as first harmonic, and other harmonics, if they are suppose 4 times this N1, we would call it N1 because it is first harmonic. Other frequencies will be higher than this and will be integral multiple of this. That is why they would be known as second harmonic, third harmonic, fourth harmonic, and so on. If suppose some frequency you get is equal to 5 times N1, then in that case you are going to say that this is fifth harmonic. So, there will be no exception to this rule that if a frequency is n times the fundamental frequency, it is going to be said as nth harmonic. If it is 5 times fifth harmonic, the lowest case that we considered here is this one. Now, you just consider one step higher. That means, you are going to consider one more antinode. In that case, this is going to be the case. You see one antinode, this is the binding being the free end. Then if you are going to increase one more antinode, obviously node and antinode will always increase together. In between two consequent situations, you will always notice the difference of one node and one antinode. So, here there are 2 nodes, one more than the previous one, and there are 3 antinodes, one more than the previous one. Here you see the distance becomes 2 lambda by 2. You see, this is lambda by 2, again this is lambda by 2, 2 lambda by 2, this becomes equal to length. It is just 2 times. The frequency you are going to get is now 2 times the previous one, that is second harmonic. One thing is apparent from this very derivation, that the frequencies we are going to get is, it is odd, it is even, this is first harmonic, this is second, then we will get third, and so on. That means odd and even, all the harmonics are available in this open organ pipe. Now, how to remember, how to find out which harmonic is going to be developed? It will be better for you, you just count the number of nodes here. If you count the number of node, and or else it is given, this information is given to you that there are 3 nodes in open organ pipe, it becomes apparent from that very information that third harmonic is being formed over there. So, it's again to be remembered that in open organ pipe, odd and even, all the harmonics are available. Next thing is that if it is P multiple, P times N1, then we would say it is Pth harmonic. Now, one more system you have to memorize at your level, as in the case of buildings you say ground floor, first floor, second floor and so on. Similarly, when we talk in terms of a story, we say to the ground floor, we say it is first story, then second, then third. Story wise, you see, you always start from first, second and so on. This is first story at ground level, but this is ground floor. When you start counting floor, then you start from second story, that becomes first floor. Same pattern is here also. In open organ pipe, if it is N2, that means second harmonic, but this will be known as first overtone. N1 will be tone and N2 will be overtone. So, overtones counting starts always from N2, and that is known as first overtone, as in the case of floor and story. Story you might say the harmonic, and tone overtone you might say floor.